Hello, dear listener. Welcome to StoryTone English. Today, we will explore the story of one of the greatest scientific minds in human history, Sir Isaac Newton. This story will not just tell you facts, it will take you on a journey, a story of curiosity, discovery, struggle, and genius. So sit back, relax, and let this story help you improve your English while you learn about one of the most important people the world has ever known. Seedling, the beginning, a strange birth. Isaac Newton was born on Christmas Day, 1642, in a small village called Woolsthorpe in England. The night was cold and stormy. He was born small and weak, and people thought he would not survive. His father, also named Isaac, had died before he was born, so he entered the world alone, fragile, but destined for greatness. His mother, Hannah Newton, raised him until she remarried. Then, when Isaac was only 3 years old, she left him with his grandmother to live with her new husband. This separation hurt him deeply. Later in life, Newton would write that he felt lonely and abandoned during his childhood, but maybe that loneliness gave him something else, the power to think deeply and independently. Books, the curious boy. Isaac wasn't a very social boy. He didn't play much with other children. Instead, he liked building small machines, windmills, clocks, and models of the solar system. He also loved reading and observing nature. When he went to school in Grantham, he stayed with an apothecary, a kind of early pharmacist. There, he learned about chemistry and how different substances worked. He was fascinated by everything he saw. He often forgot to eat or sleep while working on his experiments. He once built a water clock that could tell time using dripping water. He also made kites with lanterns attached, making people believe that ghosts were flying in the night sky. Even as a child, his mind was full of ideas. Graduation, TAP, and the Great Plague. When Newton was 19, he went to Cambridge University to study. There, he studied mathematics, physics, and astronomy. But he didn't learn everything from his teachers. He preferred to read books by himself and think alone. He admired scientists like Galileo and Kepler. Then, in 1665, the Great Plague hit England. The university closed to stop the disease from spreading. Newton had to return to his home in Woolsthorpe. But this turned out to be the most productive time of his life. While the world outside was suffering, Newton's mind was full of light. In those 2 years, he made discoveries that would change the world forever. Apple, the falling apple. One day, as Newton was resting in his garden, he saw an apple fall from a tree. It wasn't the first apple to fall, but this time he asked a question no one had asked before. Why does the apple fall straight down? Why not sideways or upward? That simple question led to one of the most important discoveries in history, the law of gravity. Newton realized that the same force that pulls an apple to the ground also keeps the moon orbiting the Earth and the planets orbiting the sun. He connected the heavens and the Earth with one simple rule. Everything in the universe attracts everything else with a force called gravity. This idea was revolutionary. For the first time, humans could explain why planets move the way they do. Newton had found the invisible thread that holds the universe together. The laws of motion. But Newton didn't stop there. He studied how things move, how they accelerate, and how they react to forces. He created 3 simple but powerful laws of motion which are still taught today. An object stays at rest or in motion unless acted upon by a force. Force equals mass times acceleration. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. These laws became the foundation of classical physics. They explained everything, from the flight of a cannonball to the orbit of planets. The light and the prism. Newton was also fascinated by light. He used a glass prism to split white light into a rainbow of colors. From that, he concluded that white light is made of many colors combined. He also invented a new kind of telescope, the reflecting telescope, which used mirrors instead of lenses. This made images clearer and removed color distortion. That invention is still used in modern telescopes today. The genius and his solitude. Even though Newton was a genius, he was also a quiet and private person. He avoided crowds and rarely smiled. He worked alone for hours, sometimes forgetting to eat. He wrote down every thought carefully, afraid of making mistakes. He was also sensitive. When people criticized his work, he felt deeply hurt. He once stopped publishing for years because of a disagreement with another scientist. But deep down, Newton wasn't working for fame. He was working for truth. He wanted to understand how God had created the universe. For him, science and faith were not enemies. They were both ways to understand creation. Recognition and legacy. In 1687, Newton published his greatest work, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, or simply the Principia. It explained the laws of motion and gravity in mathematical form. It became one of the most important books ever written. He was later made the president of the Royal Society, and in 1705, he was knighted by Queen Anne, becoming Sir Isaac Newton. He lived a long life, respected by the world. When he died in 1727, he was buried in Westminster Abbey, among kings and poets. His tomb still stands there today, reminding everyone of the man who explained the universe. Newton's wisdom for today. So, what can we learn from Isaac Newton's story? He taught us that great ideas start with small questions. He showed us that curiosity can move mountains, or in his case, revealed the secrets of gravity. He once said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." This means he respected the scientists who came before him, like Galileo and Kepler, and built upon their knowledge. And maybe we can learn something else from him, that even in silence, you can change the world, that loneliness can be the seed of creativity, and that patience and focus can lead to discoveries that last forever. So, if you ever feel small or unnoticed, remember Newton, the tiny, weak baby born on a stormy night who grew up to measure the stars and explain the laws of the universe. Conclusion. Isaac Newton didn't just discover gravity or write equations. He gave humanity a way to understand the cosmos. He connected the sky and the earth. He turned mystery into knowledge. And most importantly, he showed that a single mind, curious, patient, and determined, can change the world forever. Thank you for listening to this story from StoryTone English. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more story-based English listening practice. Let's keep learning English and the world, one story at a time. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next story.